Welcome back to Wrestling Addicts. I'm Jimmy Anderson along with Rich Walker, Rafael Guzman, and sitting in here in our final segment is a UFC fan, a boxing expert as well, who will be here to talk about CM Punk's possible career with us, and that is Michael Tula. Mike, welcome from the booth.
Thank you for having me. It's a nice studio, guys. A little cold, but nice little studio you got here.
Yes, he's one of the hosts of BTP Sideline to Sideline. We hope you guys are catching that whenever it airs on television as well. Now, we were talking about, before the break, the injuries that CM Punk has had, the multiple concussions, the staph infections, the broken bones, and his leg being messed up. Quite frankly, he's got a lot of baggage injury-wise coming into the UFC. And let me ask you this, and I'll go to you, Mike, that with all of these injuries, these concussions, these broken bones, do you think that will affect his fighting career in mixed martial arts, particularly the UFC?
You know, those are injuries that, every professional fighter usually has to, work around. This is part of the game. He has a multi-fight deal signed already with the UFC. Dana White says he'll probably be in action. They're gauging maybe 6 to 7 months, so he'll have some time to recuperate and overcome those injuries. But it should be. It's definitely going to be fun. Dana White actually, he has a quote says that regarding CM Punk, he can definitely sell some pay-per-views, and he could be one and done, or he could have a career here. So he's going to give him a shot. It'd be interesting to see, what he'll do and how successful he'll be. We know he's a salesman. That anti-establishment personality will work wonders in UFC. So definitely something to look out for. I'm in.
I'm excited too.
I'm excited too.
What about the age factor? He's coming in his 30s.
36.
36. A lot of guys don't come in that late, do they?
No, not really.
Not really, but in regards to wrestling, there's been a laundry list of one and done guys. So Dana White alluded to that already. But there's very successful wrestlers turned MMA fighters. Obviously, y'all talked about Brock Lesnar beforehand. There's Frank Shamrock. He's definitely one of them.
Ken Shamrock too.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Ken Shamrock is actually who I wanted to talk about a little bit. He's 26-12 in two draws. He had a rivalry with Royce Gracie, arguably one of the most influential MMA fighters.
Oh, yeah.
In the history of mixed martial arts. So definitely there's a predicate and establishment for both ways. He could be one and done, or maybe maybe he got a superstar in the making. But he's definitely going in the welterweight, middleweight division. There's a lot of competition there. There's a lot of opportunity, for him to make a name for himself. Obviously, we don't know who his first fight's going to be, but rumors about him fighting the Green Power Ranger.
The Green Ranger.
Green Power Ranger, man. Hey, I'm already signed up, ready to see that. I mean, this is like a wrestling match in the octagon, so I'm down.
See, that's the thing I've noticed is that Dana White is treating it a lot more sports entertainment based with the promos that the people are cutting and the face-offs where they're right at each other's face when they start.
And I'll tell you why he's doing that, because one, he's going to the UFC fans, are definitely excited, but he's got to try to capture the WWE fans and the wrestling fans.
Right.
So I don't know if he's going to borrow from the wrestling type promo for it, but he's going to try to cater to those fans.
Right.
As far as attraction-wise.
Right.
And he should, because there's money there, there's attraction there. People want to see that stuff.
Big time.
And the difference between UFC and boxing is you can incorporate and you can push in more fights in a single card for UFC mixed martial arts than you can boxing, because the fights, they're not that long. 5 3-minute rounds, 3 5-minute rounds.
True.
So, and they can be over just like that too. So Dana White has not much to lose. He's got a lot to gain. Apparently, these two guys, Jason David Frank is his real name. I keep calling him Tommy.
Just call him the Green Ranger.
Or the Green Ranger. Yeah.
Green Ranger.
Green Ranger.
But apparently they have, he's 41. He has a 1-0 MMA record, and they were considering fighting each other for a long time. Apparently, there's a lot of fan interest already. So there's built-in interest. They've been touring the Wizard World Convention together.
Yes.
So there's already a built-in interest in there, and I think Dana White's just looking to maybe capitalize on it, and it's low risk too. And like I said, I'm interested. I'm down.
Well, Mike, wouldn't it be best if he fought somebody at his caliber, 0-0 fight, 2 rookies at the same time? Or would that not be as exciting, do you think?
It's got to draw.
Yeah, definitely. He's got to draw. You know.
So his name alone will not draw, you don't think?
Of course it
Of course
will.
it will.
That's what I'm thinking.
But there's something about him and he's fairly green too. Tommy. I don't think I'm going to call him Tommy.
Well, he calls him Edward Lesnar, so go ahead.
He's fairly green too, and they're both of the same. I don't want to say ilk, but of the same mold in regards to
Entertainers.
entertainers
Yeah.
trying to come into combat sports. So. Depending on how much money that gets, maybe CM Punk, he turns out well, he has a good outing, and that can lead to something else. He has a multi-fight deal already, so he's set.
It's going to be fascinating to see him make that transition. Because
Yes, it will.
some wrestlers have, like Bobby Lashley and Brock Lesnar, but some UFC guys in particular, Ken Shamrock you mentioned, as well as Dan Severn. You remember Dan the Beast Severn?
And the Beast.
Yes.
Now he didn't make the transition very
Right.
well, but Ken Shamrock did.
Yeah.
Yes.
And perhaps you remember their fight in May of 1996. It was Severn and Shamrock, two of the biggest and baddest, and it was a flop. You remember that fight? It was wasn't it in Detroit, as a matter of fact? They were chanting for the Red Wings because the fight got so boring.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
it was like just a 20-minute fight. It wasn't the round by round base at that point. So I think both had better wrestling careers they have. But Ken Shamrock, the baddest man on the planet, and all that stuff.
Yeah, and that's the problem with mixed martial arts. You get to these boring fights is when you have just two wrestlers going at it. That's equivalent in boxing if you have two counterpunchers who don't have a lot of power going at it. You're not, they're both kind of waiting for something to happen. I'm not too. I know I'm looking at CM Punk's background. It's he has no amateur wrestling background, but he has background on Kempo, and
Yes, he does.
He's familiar with a little bit of jiu-jitsu too.
That's correct.
Yes.
So, to what extent, I don't know, but we're all here to find out. But his jiu-jitsu should definitely come into play, and
Yes.
hopefully, he's got two different. He's coming in with multiple skill sets. That's good. James Toney, professional boxer, tried this once. Going to the UFC, he fought Randy Couture, and man, I guarantee you, CM Punk is going to have a
World
10 times better outing
Now, let me
than
ask you.
James Toney. And he was
Yeah.
talking so much trash.
Yep.
I mean, he got, boom, out of there in no time.
Let me ask you guys this. One of two things is going to happen, obviously. Either he's going to succeed in the UFC or he's not, right? We could all agree on that, right?
Absolutely.
Let's suppose he succeeds maybe 2 or 3 years. And at that point, decides to go back to WWE. Do you think that it would be fair that at that point they would have to pay him obviously more money, and he would be able to get a part-time schedule like Brock,
I think he,
aka
Edward.
Lesnar?
Yeah, I think you damn skippy that he should be extended that opportunity. If he is successful in UFC and goes back, I mean, he's gonna be an off the charts draw. He already is a big draw, but he would be just incredible.
If he goes back, though, I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to go against everything that he stands for.
That's
at the
true.
moment. It's almost like he's going to be a sellout. Because, and just about everybody goes back, but I'm hoping CM Punk is the one that keeps his word. Because
I'd like to see him fight Vince, maybe.
Oh, me too.
Yeah, that would be good.
Kind of like Brad and Vince.
I'd
at
like to see
WrestleMania.
Vince put in that situation, in the octagon, not in the wrestling ring, but in the octagon.
Oh boy.
Let me tell you, Mike Tula, what Vince McMahon has said about the UFC. People die. It's barbaric.
I have
why would
never seen
Nobody's
or heard of
died,
anyone
have they?
dying in the UFC.
I mean, I haven't seen it. Call me ignorant, but I think, the sport of boxing is more dangerous because it's more sustained punishment.
Amen.
Right.
Over and over. UFC, usually it's one shot that drops you,
And
or
the
you
re-
get submitted. It's still
To
dangerous.
tap out, yeah.
And
But-
the referee gets in there and breaks it up
Right.
fast.
Right.
If anything, I would say wrestling could be more dangerous.
It
because,
Right.
I mean, you're talking about even like a match, like a hardcore match where you have the tables and ladders and chairs and all that. And I mean, there have been
Something can go wrong.
Something
in
can
a
go
second.
wrong.
And
Well, I mean-
Vince McMahon, he's a very intelligent guy. He's just talking.
Yeah.
He's just
Oh, he's not that. Well, not when it comes to pop culture.
He's a fertilizer.
He's a businessman. He's not an I mean,
Well,
he
hey.
didn't know who Al Green was. There was a segment on Primetime Wrestling where Bobby the Brain Heenan mentioned Al Green's name. He said, "Al Green, who's that?"
Wow.
he probably didn't care who he was. I don't know.
Yeah.
Boy, that too.
He didn't make any money for him.
I'm not kidding you. Yes, Barack, I see you. Okay, he did not
I'm just
know.
saying.
He didn't. That shows you Vince McMahon. And but what was I going to say very quickly about the whole UFC thing? Also, Vince McMahon. Let me tell you this. He said, "Did you hear that women are going to be fighting in the octagon?" And CM Punk said, "That's not going to sell. That's going to be great. People are going to love it." And they have.
And they are. Ronda Rousey, she's kicking it.
What do you guys think, just very quickly, of her being a wrestler? You think it would work?
I think it would.
I do too.
think
Who,
she's
Ronda Rousey?
Yes.
Big time.
What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, she's got the cachet, she's got the
physique.
the talent, you know, as an MMA fighter, and she's in the Entourage movie now too, so she's
Yeah.
bringing a
And
lot
guess
of
what?
buzz.
She's a fan of wrestling too.
Yes,
Really?
she is.
She comes and sees some of the shows. She has enough money to waste, I guess. So
Fits like a glove, you know.
it does. And her promos.
Is
She
she
does
Expendable?
promos.
Yeah, she was in
Expendables
Expendables 3.
She doesn't really
There
do
you go.
interviews. She does.
It's all
promos.
about draw. If you have a huge fan base, you can make a lot of money for people. You go anywhere.
I mean, Mayweather had one a wrestling match in his entertainment career.
A wrestling match?
With
Yeah,
Big Show.
the Big Show.
Oh, that's right.
On
No, yes,
WrestleMania.
yes, you're right. Oh, okay, I
Yeah.
forgot about that.
Although I'll take Karl Malone, Dennis Rodman over
Oh,
that wrestling
my
match.
God.
any
Did you
day.
see that one?
Oh yeah.
With the-
I still remember him driving up in that big monster truck. Oh, I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Oh,
Dennis
Dennis Rodman.
oh my goodness.
Karl Malone, what did he do? The diamond cutter?
Yeah. Now wait. Now Rodman worked better.
Rodman,
Actually,
Rodman
looked like
is
he
actually-
Rodman's
better.
weird enough to work in wrestling.
Yeah.
You know, he's
Maybe he was in the wrong sport.
he's a character, you know, on his own.
Oh yeah.
What about Jay Leno?
Oh no. Kevin Eubanks probably worked better than.
Oh,
Did you ever see that Mike Jay Leno?
Yeah, no way. Yeah. I was thinking he was gonna do like a chin drop.
What was worse? But yeah,
Oh.
I don't know what was worse, David Arquette or that. I don't know. But I tell you what,
no.
folks, we're going to have to wrap it up. We'll see you in 2 weeks right here. Until next time, this is Jimmy Anderson reminding you the best addictions are the safest addictions. Goodbye, everybody.